Here's I'm exiting Mass today. This is my new church community here in Phuket. Even if you're not Catholic, I urge you to stick around for this message because it's an important life lesson that I've learned, that I've been guilty of not knowing, or I've been guilty of practicing it. This is the Sacred Heart Church in Patong Phuket. I live in Shillong on Fitness Street. This is about 40 minutes away, and I come on Sundays because it's the best community that I've been a part of since Los Angeles, since Pico Union, the Immaculate Conception in downtown Los Angeles, which is that was over 20 years ago, guys. I've been to several countries. I live in Spain, and sad to say that the Catholic community in Spain is dying out. It's not really big at all. And I've been to other countries, and even in certain communities in Los Angeles, in California, it wasn't as big as it is here, and it wasn't as loving as it is here. Like the community here is very special. Everyone confesses, guys. People here confess. No one is like feels like I confessed again today, you know. No one feels like they're too good or their sins are too bad, you know, to be forgiven. Because I really don't understand why people don't confess when they come to church. I know some people are really good people, you know, and I wouldn't necessarily say they're saints, but I do believe that there's saints walking amongst us. So there may be some saints here at this church, and there may be saints at your church. But today's gospel was about God. You can't serve God or Mammon, and that's so true. And I'm going to give you guys an example of how I am guilty of this, right? I pride myself, which first of all, you shouldn't pride yourself, but in giving. I like to give. You know, I like to give freely to people in need, to those in need, to animals in need. And here's my issue, right? And here's where I'm serving both God or Mammon. I have the blessings to be able to give, and so I give. And my problem is that then I feel like the people I gave to are ungrateful, or even the animals. Sometimes when I go to the store and I give them food and they're like, they smell it, sometimes they're like, oh, I could get better food somewhere else. And I'm like, you MFer, you know, like I went out of my way to help you out and you do this. And I'll give you guys a few examples. This is what led me to one of the biggest downfalls of my life in Bangkok, which I have as a saved post, scheduled post on my YouTube channel, which you guys are going to be surprised with what happened. But this type of thinking, the serving God and Mammon, is what led me there, because it's happening again. It was happening again right now in Phuket. I could sense it, where I give, and then after giving, you're supposed to just, you know, feel happy that you gave and move along and give to other people that are in need. But sometimes I find myself serving Mammon, which means is like, hey man, I just not wasted, but I guess that's how I think about it, and I'm guilty of it. I just use my resources to help you, and I can't even get a thank you from you or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Which, that's serving Mammon. It's like you're more worried about the money that you just gave or the food that you just gave, rather than feeling good that you just gave and helped someone that was in need. And let me give you an example of some of the things that happen on Phuket and Fitness Street. For example, there's this girl that fights out of Dragon Muay Thai, who I can see she has a lot of passion. You know, she has a lot of passion. She's dedicated. She works twice a day, works out, fights, works twice a day. But I'm not gonna say she's poor, but she looked malnourished. You know, she looked very skinny, very thin for someone that works out so intensely, you know. And she's I'm gonna say she's famous, but she's known. She's a Persian girl, or sorry, not a Pakistani girl. I think her nickname is Falcon or something like that. And I offered her food. I'm like, you know, because I was going to the market and to get my typical salmon and all the fish that I get, you know, like for me every day is like between 1,000 and 2,000 baht of food is what I eat every day. So I'm all like, she looks skinny, she looked, you know, malnourished, and she looked like she can eat a little more than what she's been eating. So I offered her to go with me, and I bought her some. I told her, you can eat what I eat, you know, it's expensive, you know. I mean, the salmon is 550 baht. So I got her that. I got her some yogurt, whatever, and it's all good, right? It was that's where it should have ended, you know. But then I see her around, and you know, I asked her, hey, how was the salmon? And then she's like, oh, I haven't had it. And I was like, what? You didn't have the salmon? Like, the reason I didn't say this, but in my head I thought, the reason I got it for you is because you looked skinny and malnourished, and I wanted to help you out. That's what I thought in my head. You know what I mean? So that right there is serving Mammon, not God. Like, what if she gave it to somebody else? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's one point. Another point of something that happened is there was a chubby kid, right? He was out giving out flowers, and you know, chubby kids are hungry. And I was there eating my full chicken at Soho's a barbecue on Fitness Street, and he came and offered me flowers, right, to buy. And I mean, my wife is at home. I have no one to give flowers to here. So I told him, no, I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a wife here. You know, like my wife's back at home. I'm sorry, I can't help you. And he looked like sad. And then as he was leaving, he looked at my chicken and walked away. And so I'm like, hey, are you hungry? And he's all like, yeah. And I'm like, do you want the chicken? And he's all like, yeah. So I gave him the chicken, and I expected him to eat the chicken there on the spot, but he took it with him. And so then I was like, because I was still pretty hungry myself. So then I paid, and I followed him, and then not followed him, but then I saw him later. And my question was like, hey, did you eat the chicken that I gave you? And he's all like, yes. And then my next question was like, are you sure? You know? And he's all like, yes, I ate it. And so there you go again. That's serving Mammon. You're more worried about what you're doing, you know, your good deeds, rather than or how your good deeds are being handled, rather than just doing the good deeds. So I hope I made myself clear. And even with dogs, like I told you earlier, like sometimes I go buy food for dogs, like hot dogs and stuff, and I've literally had a dog smell the hot dog and leave it and walk away, a skinny, starving looking dog. So and then that kind of pissed me off, right? So it made me think, am I today, I'm like, am I serving Mammon? Am I serving God? God didn't say give to those that are in need and then watch to see if what you gave them was put to good use. He didn't say that. He said give. That's what he said, give. And to make a long story short, I was doing a lot of giving in Bangkok, and a lot of and it led to serious consequences, because I was also serving Mammon, not just God. And I'll go into detail into my post about that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this 9-minute video going on 10 minutes, and hopefully you guys understand it. And if you don't, let me know in the comments. I'll try and explain a little better, but that's the essence of it. Don't just the essence of it is, if you have the resources, use them according to God's will, not according to what you see fit, not according to how you feel the resources should be used. Do you know what I'm saying? You do it out of your own heart, because that's what God put in your heart. He didn't put anything else besides that giving nature. So that's it. Love you guys. Peace.